Right, hello. I'm Mr. Mabley, one of the maths teachers at Barlby High School, and I'm here to speak to you about some of the resources that are available and some of the methods we could use for revision for maths. First of all, just to let you know that there are two tiers, a higher tier and a foundation tier. The foundation goes from grade 1 up to grade 5, and the higher tier goes from grade 4 up to grade 9. And most of the resources are divided accordingly into higher and foundation, but you've got the same options for both. And I'll explain that now. So a couple of things on parent pay that are available from the school, but available in a load of other different places as well. We've got this one, which you can see is a revision book, and this one is for higher level as well. So a higher level revision book for maths, and if you have a quick look inside, you can see there are loads of examples. It's very colourful, a few questions, but mainly examples on every topic that they will cover. There's exactly the same thing available for Foundation 2. Now you'll see also on there it says GCSE Edexcel. That's the examination board that we will be doing, and we have done for quite a few years. So if you're not sure on what to buy or what you've got, that's the examination board that we're doing, and we're following their curriculum. Now, another thing that's available on parent pay in a bit of a pack really is a workbook. This one is also at higher, but there is exactly the same thing available for foundation students too. And this is exactly what it says. It is just full of different questions on every topic that they will cover. So the first one I showed you was more to do with examples. This one is more to do with practice. And with regard to practice, I'd say it would be good to do little and often. So dip into it, do a couple of pages. If you've got one of these, have a go at it. If you have any problems with some of the questions, speak to one of your maths teachers and they will certainly be able to help. Now, to go with this, there is the answer book, which is just a leaflet of around about 20 pages, and it's just got all the answers right throughout it and some diagrams as well if the answers require a diagram on it. Now, I mentioned about one good thing for revision would be to dip in and out little and often, to do different things, different topics, different times, not to concentrate too much on one thing. On one book that is available again from parent pay, but pretty much everywhere else, from online, newsagents, supermarkets, general stores, a lot, they're all available. 10-minute tests. Once again, Edexcel. This one so happens to be foundation, I think. It's foundation level. And if we look at the centre, it is just 7 questions on a whole load of different topics that are designed to be completed in around 10 minutes. Okay, around 10 minutes. Now, a little bit about the exams. There are 3 exams, whether you do foundation or whether you do higher. There are 3 exams. The first one is a non-calculator. The second and the third are calculator papers. Students need to be familiar with the use of a calculator. All the exams in the past have been 1.5 hours long, and they've all been worth 80 marks. We're expecting that to be the case this time round as well. This is a typical calculator that is available from school, but once again, it's not the only type, and there are loads of other different ones available. What is important is that students are familiar with it, and we spend quite a bit of time looking at the scientific keys, powers, trigonometry, using brackets, using a fraction key, using mixed numbers, presenting them on a calculator. And so familiarity with it is really important. They're available on Parent Pay and any other places, but they certainly need them. If they get used to using their phone, because their phones will have a calculator, they're never allowed to use a phone in school as a calculator, and they certainly wouldn't be able to take one into an exam. And if they're not familiar with the calculator they've got or the one that they've been using, then it creates a bit of difficulty in their exam. Now, a couple of other things about revision, because people will revise in different ways. Some people like flashcards, and we've got, these are also available. Once again, it's from Edexcel, and it's got exactly what we've covered in the previous books, but it's in a format of flashcards. And if we just look at one of these on here, so there's some questions on that side, and then there's some answers on that side. This is more of a descriptive one rather than an arithmetic one, and it's to do with interpreting graphs and comparing data. It gives the title up here, and it says what section it is there. So they're available as well if people prefer that sort of format. Now, most students at the moment will be regularly online and accessing the internet, and there is a whole host of options for revision online. Now, I'm going to show you a couple that we're quite familiar with. They're not the only ones by any means, but if I hold that up, you will certainly be familiar with the MathsWatch site that we use quite regularly for homeworks, but it can also be used for revision. And then we've got, I think it's Corbett Maths, and then the other one I put down is Mathed Up, but there's BBC Bite Size, there's Enrich, there's loads of others, but I know that those three are good. All of them separate work from foundation to higher, and they talk about different topics. They've got short videos involved with them, they've got questions and they've got answers, and we use them from time to time. There's certainly the Corbett Maths and the Mathed Up when we're working in class. So they're options if people prefer an online interface when they're when they're revising. But the most important thing is to do things little and often. So quite regularly, dip into a couple of questions. We can't all save it, as we know, until the end of year 11. Well, I hope that clears up a few questions. And that's the end from me, and happy revising. Thank you.